very well at eating too much. Those are habits that we do very well, but they're habits that we would like to get rid of. What he talks about is how to get a good habit going and staying, and getting a bad habit going away.
Yep.
And he talks about four different things: making it obvious, making it visible, making it easy. And there's like the way he explains this is so simple. 4 ways to get rid of a bad habit, 4 ways to introduce a good habit. And one of the things that worked for me so far has been habit bundling. Now, this is really interesting.
Same with me, by the way. And I'll share my story in that.
So I'll start with me and then you go ahead.
Sure.
So first of all, I decided that I had to start doing calisthenics, so exercises like push-ups and lunges and stuff like that. I had to get that into my routine. So when I was reading this book, I said, I understand something. What I do every morning is when I get up, I used to watch the TV right away. I used to watch the news. So I just said, I'm going to start reading. And that's when I started reading Diary of the CEO. I would wake up in the morning early, as I always do. Instead of watching TV, I decided I'm going to read. The second thing I do is I go downstairs in my basement and I get a coffee. Because my coffee machine is downstairs, because my wife doesn't want to listen to the coffee machine because it makes too much noise. So it's a Breville espresso. It makes fantastic coffee, but it's downstairs. Noisy. It's actually in my tool room. Okay. So I go downstairs. I make my coffee. I do that every single morning.
Okay.
So I bundled my exercises with going to get the coffee. One of the things that James Clear says, that if you want to start a habit, start really, really small, which I agree at 100%. I've always told people, start small. So he says, start with 2 minutes. The first morning when I got that coffee, I started with 1 push-up, 1 squat, 1 lunge, 1 sit-up, 1 dip, and 1 back exercise, which I have 6 exercises that I do.
And at the end of all this, then...
That took like 20 seconds.
20 seconds?
20
and then
seconds.
You deserve the coffee.
And then I deserve the coffee.
Okay.
All right?
Yep.
So the second day, I did 2-2-2. It's been almost a month.
Yeah.
Now I'm up to 3 sets of 3 of every exercise.
Wow.
It takes me about 10 minutes. And then I make my coffee. And I do that every single morning. I've never missed a morning since I started.
Impressive.
And that, by the way, that's not my resolution.
No. I was counting. Like you said, 40 days into your resolution. Then you said a month. I said, okay, so it's not your resolution.
No, it's not my resolution.
Fair enough.
How about you?
Well, I wanted to read more. That's what I mentioned earlier on, right? So my goal was to read, more, period. It didn't matter if it was daily or weekly, but I said I need to read more. So because of the cold weather in Quebec, I'm a runner. I run, right? I do triathlon, so I run. I do have that mental space where anything below minus 10 degrees Celsius, I'm not a big fan of running in like under 10 degrees Celsius, right? So I said, you know what? I'll resurrect my treadmill. And I will bring my book. I don't mind running on a treadmill. I think it gives you a different kind of training with some inclines and everything. It's okay, right? I'll bring my book and I'll run on treadmill. I'll do a long run. Intervals I don't recommend, like 10K, 12K on my treadmill, reading a book. And so far, this book, I'm halfway through it. All of it has been read on my treadmill while running. And so far, so good. I've tied the habit of running, which I don't mind, which I'm okay, going for a run, to my new habit that I bundled it with, running, and now I can read. So I read. I did this morning. I ran 12K this morning. Guess what? I read, 3 chapters. Slower reading, of course. But it works.
Okay, now I'm sure that people are listening to this or looking at this and going, wait a second. When I run, my head goes up and down. So if I run on a treadmill, which I hate, by the way, I never do that, my head goes up and down. How do you that works? So you're reading the book and you're not going up and down, and it's.
I guess I am, but hey, I can read.
Wow.
So, okay, coach.
Do you retain what you
Of
read?
course, of course, of course. It takes more time. I mean, don't get me wrong. Instead of reading, I don't know, a page, how long does it take? 30 seconds to read a page? Maybe it takes me a minute because sometimes I need to go back and read that same, sentence once, twice, or three
And
times.
you're flipping the pages while you
I,
run?
I am. I am.
Wow.
Yep. I've got this huge paper clip, stuck on my book here to
Okay.
hold the page, make sure it's stable, and it works.
I'm
And
amazed.
I-
So you've bundled, what did you bundle? You bundled the
running.
run. Okay, but you actually bundled two good habits,
But
which is
that's
almost like
that's the
cheating.
the type of person I am. I bundle good things together, right? So there you go.
So what we want you to do is we want you to start a new habit, and we want you to comment
Share
underneath
it.
the YouTube channel. We want you to share your new habit that you've developed, all right? Or that you're going to develop, or that you're going to try, and we want you to try this bundling thing. If you've read the book, you know there's 4 steps to improving habits, but try to bundle a habit. That'd be great.
Agreed.